Swami Vedäntin says in Panchadashi 790, Swaprakasho api saksheva dehi vrittya vyapte aneva phala vyapatva mevasya sastra kritivir nivaritam. The inner consciousness, though self-luminous, can be covered by the modification of intellect, just as other objects of knowledge are. The teachers of scripture have denied the perception of Küțastha by chidabhas, or consciousness reflected on the intellect. When the ego is negated by the process of Bhaga-tyäga Laksana, how can the direct knowledge of I am Brahman dawn? Direct perception is a joint undertaking of ego and Cidābhāsa, or the consciousness reflected on intellect, that is Jiva. When this ego goes with it the other, that is Cidābhāsa or Jiva, and with that all perceptions. In perception, according to the Vedäntin, two processes, though they appear to be identical, are involved, one following the other. First, the removal of ignorance about the object effected by the Vritti or modification of the intellect. Second, the formation of notion about object, that it is an object of my perception, or the knowledge that I know it, that it is a part of my world of objects, which is effected by the chidabhas. In the case of our perception of a pot, Vritti of the intellect removes ignorance about the pot, and the chidabhas forms the notion of the pot and pigeonholes it. It forms a part of my integral subject-object personality. In the case I am Brahman, the intellect Vritti removes the ignorance about Brahman, but as it is a case not of it is Brahman, but I am Brahman, the Cidābhāsa part becomes redundant. With the removal of ignorance about Brahman, the entire objective world, including the intellect, reflected consciousness, and antakaran Vritti, all vanish, and the Sakshin or Pratyak Chaitanya cries out in uncontent bliss, I am Brahman. This is technically said to be Vritti vyapya, but not phala vyapya or Cidābhāsa vyapya. Brahman is not a notion possessed by I, the Cidābhāsa. No pigeonholing is necessary or possible. The container itself vanishes. What remains is the transfigured Pratyak Chaitanya as Brahman and Brahman Ada, out there as Brahman Idam, in here as Pratyak Chaitanya, not as two, but one homogeneous experience. Verse 91, 92, 93 says, Buddhi tata Cidābhāso do api vyapnuto ghatam tatra ajnanam dhyanaschet avhasen ghata sphuret. A pot is known by means of both intellect and reflected consciousness. Ignorance is removed by the intellect, and the pot is revealed by the reflected consciousness. Brahmani ajnana nasaya vritti vyapite apekshita swam asphuran rupatvat no abhas upyujite. Cognition by the intellect is required to destroy ignorance of Brahman. But as it is self-luminous, reflected consciousness is not necessary. Chakshu दीपाव अपेक्षते घटादे दर्शने तथा no deep दर्शने किंतु चक्षु एकम अपेक्षते. The eye and light both are necessary to see a pot, but not so in seeing a lamp, where only the eye is necessary. Verse 94-95 says, अस्थित अपि असौ चिदाभासो ब्रह्मणि एकी भवेत् परम न तु ब्रह्मणि अतिशयम् फलम कुर्यात् घटादिवत्. When the intellect functions, it does so only in the presence of Cidābhāsa. But in the cognition of Brahman, Cidābhāsa is merged in Brahman. In the external perception of a pot, Cidābhāsa reveals the pot by its light and yet remains distinct from it. Aprameyam anadim cheti yatra suti idam iditam mansai vedam aptavyam iti dhi vyapita sutta. That Brahman cannot be cognized by Cidābhāsa is corroborated by the Suti. Brahman is beginningless and beyond cognition, but its cognition by the intellect, in the sense of removing ignorance about it, is admitted by the Shruti. Brahman can be cognized by the intellect. Mundak Upanishad 3.1.8 says, No chaksusa grihete napi vacha, no aner devais tapsa karmanava, gyan prasadene visuddhu sattvas, tatastu tam pasate niskalam dhyanmana. The self cannot be apprehended through eyes, nor through speech, nor by any sense organs, nor can it be achieved through austerity or any pious work. When the mind becomes purified by the favorableness of intellect, or when the mind becomes free from attachment etc., it realizes that self through meditation. मुंडक उपनिषद 3:19 से येसो अनु आत्मा चेतसा वेदितव्यो यस्मिन् प्राण पंचधा समिवेश प्राणे चित्तम सर्व ओतम प्रजानाम यस्मिन् विशुद्धे भवति एष आत्मा. The subtle sense should be known only through the pure intelligence in the body, where the vital force has entered in 5 forms, that is prana, apan, etc. By that intelligence, the whole mind of the creature, together with motor and sense organs, are pervaded, just like milk is with butter. When that intelligence becomes pure, that is free from the dirt of desire, attachment, and grief, etc., then this self reveals itself distinctly in its own reality.